Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about improper fractions and mixed numbers and how to convert between the two of them. We're going to start off with a little bit of vocabulary. An improper fraction has a numerator that is greater than or equal to its denominator, while a mixed number combines a whole number and a fraction. Now let's take a look at converting mixed to improper. Our strategy for converting mixed to improper is Texas popcorn. Let's take a look at an example of what that really looks like. First example, we have a mixed fraction 2 3/4. We're going to do our Texas popcorn by starting with a T for Texas, T and X. Our T and X actually stand for a plus sign and a multiplication sign. Now we're going to take care of our popcorn and we're going to multiply 4 times 2. 4 times 2 gives me 8, plus 3 gives me 11, all over 4. So 2 3/4 mixed number is equal to 11/4 as an improper fraction. Now again, we always start by multiplying our denominator times our whole number, 4 times 2, and then we add our numerator, plus 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 gives me 11, and we always put it over the denominator. Now, that note, if you look at it, it kind of looks like a popcorn kernel. So that's where our Texas popcorn came from. My next example is 7 1/2. I'm going to do the same thing, T and X for Texas. And now my popcorn, 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, all over 2. So 7 1/2 is equal to 15 over 2. And my last example, 4 3/5. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, all over 5. Now, our strategy for improper to mixed is top in, bottom out, and Nike swoosh. So we are going to divide the numerator by the denominator, top in, bottom out, then just do it and Nike swoosh. And we're going to put our mixed fraction always in lowest terms. Let's take a look at some examples. Our first example is the improper fraction 11/4. We are going to divide numerator by denominator, top in, bottom out. 4 goes into 11 2 times because 2 times 4 is 8. And now we subtract. When we subtract, 11 minus 8 gives me 3. Now, last week when we were talking about decimals, we would add a decimal and a 0 and continue dividing. But this week we're talking all about fractions. So this is where our Nike swoosh comes in. We are going to just do it. Now we've got our subtraction, our result from our subtraction problem was 3. That becomes my numerator, and my divisor was 4. So we have 2 3/4. My next example is 32 over 6. So I'm going to divide top in, bottom out. 6 goes into 35 times. 5 times 6 is 30 with a 2 remainder. And we're going to just do it. 5 2 6. Now, the very last step that we talked about in our steps from going improper to mixed was to simplify our fraction if needed. Our first example didn't need to be simplified, but my second example does need to be simplified because we have 2 6. There's a common factor between 2 and 6, and that common factor is 2. So we're going to divide my numerator and denominator by 2. And that gives me a mixed fraction of 5 1/3. When we simplify, be really, really careful because I see students all the time who simplify their fraction to 1/3 and they forget about their whole number that they had out there. So we've got to make sure that we continue to keep it a mixed fraction and we don't just reduce the fraction and forget about the whole number. Okay, my next example, 44/8. I'm going to divide numerator by denominator. 8 goes into 44 5 times. When we subtract, we get a remainder of 4. And we are going to Nike swoosh. We're going to just do it. That gives me 5 4/8. But always look at that fraction and see, can it be reduced? 4/8 can be reduced by 4. And that gives me 5 1/2. And my last one is 16/6. I'm going to divide 16 by 6. 6 goes into 16 two times. I subtract and get 4. And I'm going to just do it. So I've got 2 4/6. Again, I'm going to simplify. When I simplify, that gives me 2 2/3. Hope this helped whenever you are converting from mixed fractions to improper and improper to mixed. Give me a like.